I'm here with Rihab Chaieb, who's playing Inez in the upcoming production of the Canadian Opera Company's Il Trovatore by Giuseppe Verdi. Thanks for talking to us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit about your personal history. I understand that your roots are somewhat international, and the way that you actually connected with opera is somewhat unique.
Yeah, well, everybody's unique, has their own story, but mine, I was born in Tunisia, and we immigrated when I was 2 years old in Montreal. It was kind of the obvious choice because it's francophone, and we did speak French in Tunisia. And so I grew up in Montreal, very, easy peasy in a little nice neighborhood. And then my high school, I had many phases, like hip hop, tomboy, but the one that stuck around the most was goth. So, and that's when I got into, heavy metal and death metal, but mostly power metal. And so I got a band with my friends, and I wanted to sing, and but I was just screaming and, smoking and drinking, and it was not really good music. So I decided to take lessons, and then I just fell in love with the genre, the actual opera, and the classical music and the voice. And I kind of just ditched my band.
They probably don't hold it against you.
No.
Doing. Yeah, no. Are there actually any common elements between metal and opera?
Yes.
Any lessons that you've been able to, or skills that you've been able to transfer over?
A lot, actually. It's very funny because what actually drawn me into the kind of power metal, which is kind of a lot of it includes a lot of symphonic elements in the music. That's what actually drawn me into the music, because it's so, yes, it's hard, yes, it's heavy, but it has that really melodic sense to it. Or, the guitars, like the guitarist would amaze me because, there would be like amazing. And it's riffs that sort of unbelievable, and it looks like, it sounds like Vivaldi because it's so virtuosic, so fast and so specific in particular that there was a classical element in the power metal that I found very attractive, and then it wasn't, people are like, oh, it's so weird, like it's so different. I'm like, no, it's not that different, like if you hear Trovatore or Fledermaus, there's I listen to these tunes and it's kind of rock through it, it's kind of a rock band tune. Because it was just the rock at the time. Yeah.
Well, and the anvil chorus, you could say that is truly heavy metal.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're a member of the COC Ensemble Studio program, which I understand acts as sort of a bridge for talented young performers who are just on the cusp of kind of becoming full-time professional globe-hopping opera singers. Tell me a little bit about the program and your own experience in it.
Well, this is my third year, and I'm so happy and grateful to be back here for a third season. The Ensemble Studio is an amazing program. It's kind of exactly like you said, a bridge between school and professional life. But what they offer here is support and time. They're not, they give you roles. They give us coachings just to make us ready to get out there and ready to be a professional artist. And yeah, it's just an amazing chance we've had here to be here, because we've surrounded ourselves with international singers, because we get small roles or even lead roles in productions, along with international amazing singers, conductors, and we get that chance to sing on stage with the other people and to kind of really experiment what is the life of a real professional singer. So
you're performing with a few big names in Il
Yes.
Trovatore. Tell me a little bit about your castmates.
Well, we have the amazing and unbelievable Ramon Vargas in the title role, and that was unimaginable chance to sing and to be on stage with him, because not only he's a great singer, but he's such a nice colleague and fun and very, down to earth and not diva at all, very, very chill and very fun. And we also have Elsa van der Heever, who is the wonderful and stunning Leonora. And I mean, because I sing a lot with her in my scenes, I just get to stand there and just be amazed with her technique and her ability to just transmit the music with her voice. It's just, I mean, she's stunning, and her voice is just, wow. It just fills the hall. And it's really hard to be right next to her because she's really loud, and it's just amazing. But it's funny because I would just sit there and kind of look at her mouth and look at her position and how she breathes. It's kind of a voice lesson in itself. And we also have Russell Braun.
Another fellow Canadian.
Which I had the opportunity to work with before, as I was covering in Love from Afar last season. And another great artist, which he's debuting the role of Conte di Luna, which is a great role for him. He transmits the character so well, and he just embodied the role perfectly.
Nice. Obviously, the studio ensemble program is a fantastic opportunity. Not everyone, has that opportunity. No. What do you think some of the biggest challenges for young opera performers are today?
Well, we're in a recession period, so there's less money allowance given to the arts, basically. So there's obviously less space for music. But what is hard right now is just to get out there and get ourselves and our name out there. But also, the prices and the cost of coachings and lessons are very expensive. Like our salary didn't get higher when everything got more expensive. So taking lessons and continuing our work to get a good technique, a good stage presence, good languages, that is very, very important for anybody who wants to be an opera singer or just be in the opera world. And so being in the ensemble studio where we are offered this chance is amazing. But even after that, I mean, the work is not done. After that, it's going out there and going to Europe and to the US and audition. And it's a long and tedious process that a lot of people are happily doing, but it is very hard on the body, on your mind, on it's if you get a lot of rejection, you have to be able to be, it's okay, like I'm gonna learn from this and I'm just gonna go and do it again.
Imagine it's a lot being like an amateur athlete where you have to dedicate nearly every waking hour to it, but
exactly,
it doesn't necessarily result in the kind of performance that you're hoping for.
Exactly, and even that example is even more dramatic because they train for years to go to this one chance to go to the Olympic, and if they don't get that gold medal, it's so that's even more dramatic. But it is exactly like to be an athlete.
I want to talk a little bit more about Il Trovatore for people who don't know the opera that well. Tell me a little bit about the story, and without giving too much away, and your own role in the play, or pardon me, the story.
Il Trovatore is kind of the a perfect example of Italian drama, and it's great because you have a nice mix of you have the love, you have jealousy, you have revenge. I'm not going to say what's going to happen at the end, but basically there's kind of a love triangle, and there's a very, very angry mother or gypsy. And we often forget sometimes that actually the whole story is about the revenge of the gypsy and not only about the love triangle. And in this opera, Inez is kind of the confident friend to Leonora, and she's desperately trying to pull Leonora out of trouble. She's like, don't do this, I have a bad feeling, why are you doing this? She actually really cares for her, but because of different social status, she can't really go for it, and like, you know, she's not her mother, she's not a countess, she's just a friend, and she can only advise her, but she's answered by complete, you know, Leonora decides to ignore Inez's advice.
Which is probably not too surprising. Opera is full of terrible decisions.
And actually, all of the confident are always doing like that. They're advising the usually the prima donna / soprano, and then the soprano doesn't listen, and then someone dies or something like that. So, it's a fun role.
No doubt. Il Trovatore is also arguably one of the top 20 most popular operas of all time, if not even more so. There will no doubt be audience members who see this production who probably know the work inside and out, and will come to the performance with certain expectations. Does working with such well-known material as, say, you know, maybe opposed to a new contemporary work, does working with such well-known material come with a certain amount of pressure, and if so, how do you navigate it?
I would say that, I mean, doing any production has any kind of pressure, because unless it's a new opera, like you said, it has been done before. We've seen it, we've gone through it. Like this is just another version of it. The challenge here is to find a new way to touch people, because the story is the same, and you know, but I don't think this cast is less better or better than another cast. It's just they are transmitting the music and transmitting their emotion and transmitting the story in their own way. But yes, Il Trovatore is, you know, everybody knows the tune. Even though you don't know it's Il Trovatore, you know it's from, you know that tune, and you can hum it, and you've heard it on the radio, you've heard it in an ad, you've heard it somewhere. So I think, yes, there will be a lot of expectation from the public, but it's not going to be, they're not going to be disappointed at all, because the level of this production, the level of the singers and of the pit, maestro, and the orchestra is unbelievable.
You just alluded to the fact that there's a lot of music in Il Trovatore that has been used in, you know, all sorts of pop culture contexts, including the Anvil chorus is shown up more than a couple times in Saturday morning cartoons. If you had to sing a duet with a cartoon character, who would it be?
I guess Taz.
Taz.
Just because he can't sing and he's funny.
Excellent. Who's Taz from? Sorry, Taz.
That's from like Tasmania. You know the like monster.
The Tasmanian devil.
Yes, the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess you would probably have to take on most of the lyrics, and he could just hum along.
Exactly. He could just growl.
Amazing.
It'll be like a nice mix of classical and rock.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Well, thanks for having me.